What is up, everyone? Coffee Break is back with another video, and today we will be talking about 49ers new wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk. Feel like we haven't talked about him much, at least not in this channel. I want to take a closer look at who Brandon Aiyuk really is, and does he fit the Kyle Shanahan system? Let's jump right into it. And the first thing I want to touch on is his God gifting talent, right? His physique, his body. How is he built? And the first thing that comes up in film is the speed. I feel like every time he runs, he takes huge strides. It's beneficial, especially when you're trying to get vertical. But I also think he's like fast. What I mean by that is his 40 time should have been faster. I think he ran like a 4.51. He's a 4.4 guy. I think he was hurt at the combine, rumor has it. But all in all, what do you put on tape? And on tape, I see a 4.4 guy run all day. And like I said, those huge strides just makes it seem much quicker for some odd reason. It like jumps at you. The quickness jumps at you if you're a DB. And so that kind of stood out to me. He's not like, for example, KJ Hamler, wide receiver out of Penn State who came out of this draft as well. He's quick. He's like really fast. I think he ran a ridiculous 40 time. Like, I'm not saying Brandon Aiyuk is KJ Hamler fast, but what I am saying is there's a difference between being fast and then being quick. When you can be quick on the outside where you just have the numbers and the sidelines, that tells you something about the guy's speed. And I think using that minimal space, he can still get open, which we'll talk about here later on. So speed, no problem at all there. With that, we also have the long arms, longer than usual for his height. And he uses those arms for stiff arms and catching those footballs over the head. I mean, it'll be hard to overthrow this guy with the combination of speed and the length of his arms. It matters when you're looking at it from a micro level, not a macro level, micro level. And, obviously we're nitpicking, but the point is, extending for a football will matter when you drafted the guy to be your deep threat, because I think that's what he is. He is the 49ers deep threat. The long arms are going to help him when he's running down that field and Jimmy just throws it 50 yards. Now I want to touch on the strong hands. Seems like we don't value strong hands when it comes to the receiver position. And I think that it's catching the ball, it's running routes, but then it's how you catch them, right? More often than not, coaches are going to want to see you catch the ball with your hands. Well, he not only does that, he snatches the ball out the air. And that's a combination with, again, his long arms. I know I'm going to keep touching on that. He just snatches the football out of the air. It's amazing to see on film. You'll see it time and time again. Extend those arms, snatch it. DB has none chance, and then he's off to the races. So big, strong hands to go along with everything else I just touched on. That is the physique we are looking at when we're talking about Brandon Aiyuk. And my last note here before I move on to my next thing is his durability. And I think it's the body type that you have here. And it's been a constant theme with Kyle Shanahan drafting his receivers as of lately. We look at Debo, he's like a running back, built like a running back, and just a bulldog as a receiver. Again, looks durable. When you look at Debo, you think, oh yeah, this guy could take some hits. When you look at Brandon Aiyuk, you'll think the same thing. I think he played every game this past year. Only played 2 years at Arizona State. So durability is also there. You look at Jalen Hurd, big receiver. Jawan Jennings, who we also drafted in the 7th round this year, big receiver. So Kyle just wants people on the football team. That's every coach's dream. But the theme is, with Kyle, durability, yards after catch, run every route. And Aiyuk, I think, has those characteristics, those abilities. And with that, we're already off to a great start. Now let's talk about his route running abilities. Kyle wants someone to get open with his routes, right? Obviously. So like Debo, Brandon Aiyuk has shown his ability to run routes and get open. Anyone can run a straight line, but it's how you get separation is what impresses. What counters are you throwing at the DB to trick them, to have them think of something else, be 1-2 steps ahead of the defense? And I've seen Aiyuk get dudes with stutter moves, hesitations. I mean, he's dropping the hips, getting out of his breaks. What coaches love to see. And I think that's why Kyle Shanahan really has fallen in love with the pick. He does it well, and he's very impressive for a rookie. And this is why I think he can be Deebo Samuel and more. Yes, I said more. Let me explain. The last thing I want to touch on, Brandon Aiyuk, that I think hardly gets talked about. It's his ability to return punts and kickoffs. I honestly think he's just as good at running with the football as catching a football and running routes. Like, we have to get to, 3-4 on the list to talk about punts and kickoffs. And I think that is a testament to how good Brandon Aiyuk can be. And he's still like a raw talent. I think he only played 2 years, like I said, at Arizona State. He went to JUCO 2 years, I believe, before transferring over. So he is still a raw receiver, but you are already seeing the level of talent that he could bring to this football team. I mean, the man should return punt for the 49ers in 2020. I heard someone say this and I forgot who it was, so forgive me for not giving you credit here. And I'm going to butcher this quote, I'm sure, but it went something along the lines of, he can give you 1 to 2 first downs a game by simply returning punts for you. And all that's basically saying is he's going to get some yardage returning punts and kickoffs, which speaks to the yards after catch. And I know I haven't gotten to that, but yards after catch. And I think he was at a ridiculous stat, like he has 16 yards after catch or something like that. Every reception was like 16 yards on average. That's just how much of an explosive player he is. And this is why he reminds me of Deebo Samuel, because Deebo, coming out of college, he was a great route runner. He was phenomenal with yards after catch, and we already know what he's done. Brandon Aiyuk has a similar, very, very similar approach, and that's what gets me excited about the pick. Is like, not only are you a young receiver, you know how to run your routes. When I watch you on film, I know you have a plan and how to approach and attack that DB. So it makes me really excited about that. And then you just add the explosiveness, like the very explosive player. He is your home run type of player. And Deebo was that for us all of last year. Just imagine Deebo and Aiyuk. And like I said, Aiyuk is going to be treated more of a deep threat, make him get open on a double move and then run that post or run that fade and then let Jimmy just throw it 50 yards. I mean, he could go out and get it. So a very impressive film study that I had watching Brandon Aiyuk, and I can't wait. Deebo Samuel and Aiyuk are built differently in their own right, but they have a very similar skill set. They both do great after the catch. They both play like running backs at the receiver position. Like I said, I can't wait to see them both in action. Anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. Go ahead and drop a comment below on your thoughts on Brandon Aiyuk. As always, we will see you on the next one, guys. Peace.